Good evening to you, cigar lovers. It's Tem here again, and apologies for looking rather tired. It's been a long night from yesterday and a long day today. The boys at Cigarsindia.in, India's largest and most trusted online retailer of cigars, have asked me to review the Romeo and Julieta Churchill. I don't know if I can get it in focus there. Hopefully it is okay. So this is going to be the first review of the evening, and I'm looking forward to it. We have just a good smell. This is actually, well, as the name goes, it's a Churchill. The ring gauge is 47 and it's 7 inches in length. Now what they've done is they've kept changing the labelling. I'll go on about that a bit later, but you may see some variations in this if the cigar was much older. The construction is very good. It's a bit just a bit veiny, but there are no solid areas in this, so the draw would be very good. The reason I say this is because typically or through my experience when smoking long cigars, especially something like a Partagas Lusitania, if you find a good one which has a good draw and a nice even draw through it, you won't find anything better. But because of the length sometimes, and the rolling can occasionally be indifferent, you might find it plugged, and then it's an absolute nightmare to actually smoke. It's akin to sucking a milkshake, a very thick milkshake, and it just ruins the whole experience of smoking. So this seems to be fine. It's been kept rehumidified to bring it up to smokable standard for about 3 days. That's what the lads have told me. So I don't think I'll be in there for any disappointments. So enough looking at it. I'll just cut it and go through the process. I forgot to add that the shape of this, besides the ring gauge of 47 and a length of 7 inches, it's actually a Barredo shape. This particular shape. I'll cut it now and just give a brief history on Romeo and Julieta as a brand. They were actually, it was first launched around the 1850s, and it's had a very successful career. Both pre-revolutionary career and post-revolutionary. It's always been a very popular brand and has done very well globally. The name itself is Romeo and Julieta, is derived from the eponymous play by William Shakespeare with Romeo and Julieta. So again, going back to a reference that I made earlier about why brands have their particular names, and this would go back to when the factory was in existence and when the cigar was being rolled. The various, they would have readers at the time who would read classics, would read newspapers, and would read general matter to the torchadors as they're rolling. And this is probably one influence of that. Again, if you have any differences or any ideas as to another alternative reason for this name of the brand, then please do get in touch with us. So, nicely cut. Pre-light, I'm getting some nice flavors coming out of this. This has been nicely aged, so I get that aged kind of quality coming through it. How is that? How do you identify that? For me, I usually find that it has that kind of book, you're in a library and it has that aged bookshelf or aged leather. That for me is a good, musty kind of smell. That has a good indication, for me anyway, of being aged. So this should be the front. Right on. Interesting. I'll just let it settle in before I give a review on the flavor profile I'm getting. But I just wanted to add that as a brand, it's constantly developing. They always have new vitolas coming out, and the range is just remarkable in what they have and how it's proved to be successful. It's still got some flavors to come out, so I'll just wait for a few more moments. As a brand itself, Romeo and Julieta, it's very popular. It's actually one of the largest exported Habano cigars coming out of Cuba, and is second largest behind the Monte Cristo range of cigars. And besides the classics, such as the Churchill here, the Casadores or the Exhibition number 4, they offer a wide range of cigars, as I alluded to earlier, and a large number of those cigars are actually machine-made. And the interesting thing about them is the quality on the machine-made varieties has been recognized as very good for what they're actually offering. So all in all, I can understand why the cigar has constantly developed and constantly been appreciated globally. There's always been a demand, and they've always experimented, and they've always produced some interesting cigars. So the brand goes from strength to strength. Now, I've let it settle in for a bit. Going to the flavors themselves, this is a robust smoke. It has a whole heap of complex flavors coming out. Every kind of flavor that you may have experienced coming from a cigar, imaginable, is actually present in this, and more so. So you want floral, it's there. You want nutty, it's there. You want herbal, it's there. You want tangy and fruity, it's there. You want woody, it's there. Beans, we're talking cocoa, vanilla, and chocolate, or cocoa, vanilla, and coffee, sorry. Those are all present here, and certainly in abundance. Now, if there was a hallmark style to the Romeo and Julieta range, bearing in mind the presence of all these flavors, you're probably wondering, well, how do I experience those? Well, the hallmark and what's known as, you could say, the house style of this is none of those flavors are overpowering or hit you in any significant level. It's very well balanced, and they're there in measured quantities, so it's a nice even kind of smoke. Even though those characteristics are there, they're not overpowering in one particular note or tone. So you won't find aggressively woody notes coming out of this. It'll tone down, and you get some of the chocolate, you get some of the sweetness coming out, you get some of the fruity qualities coming out of this. So that, you could say, is the hallmark of the Romeo and Julieta range, that it's well balanced and it's toned with all those flavors being present, which then you could understand why it would be such a popular smoke, because at the end of the day it has something to offer for everyone. You want something a bit spicy, it has that. You want something woody or toasty, it has that. So you're not going to be disappointed, plain and simple. So what am I getting? Besides the flavors that I mentioned there, at the moment I'm getting a preponderance of toasted woody character to the cigar. The aroma of the smoke is quite pleasant as well. I guess at the moment, each of those characters, the flavor profile that I described, it just hits me in waves. So after one comes through, then I get another flavor coming through. So it's pretty much of those same things. So I'll just let it smoke down a bit more and get back to you shortly if I notice any detectable change in the flavor profile. It's gone through about a third of the way. The draw is a bit firm. It's not tight though. It certainly makes you work for the experience of getting those flavors out, but it's not unpleasant. I mean, some plugged cigars can be a real nightmare to go through, but this one is okay. It's firm, but the smoke is coming through to the other end. Now, going to the history of this cigar, this particular vitola itself, why is it called the Churchill? Why couldn't they call it anything else? The reason is very plain and simple. It was prepared especially for Sir Winston Churchill during the Second World War or thereabouts, and it was exclusively made for him. So you could say it was like a limited edition especially for Sir Winston Churchill, but after his visit in 1947 it proved to be so popular and so accepted that it became a permanent feature of the Romeo and Julieta range, and hence the name itself. Churchill, they usually give that as a designation for other brands of cigars of this particular shape and this particular size and dimension. So 7-inch, 47 ring gauge, 7 inches, Parejo shape. It certainly, they would, you go to the shop or you speak to other people, they would generally say, yeah, it's a Churchill size. So that name stuck because of him and because of the quality of the cigar. The strength, I'd say, is about 4 out of 5, and as I said before, you really need about, it would be good to get about 3 years aging on this for the flavors, the nutty flavors, cocoa, the chocolate and the coffee to come out of this more so. As it is, it's delivering a tangy, what else is it delivering? Tangy, it's certainly very tangy. It's very sweet. In fact, I passed it to one of my friends. He did say that the aroma of the smoke was very sweet and it had that tangy element to it. So that's actually detectable in the taste as well as the cigar. I think I'll just massage the end of the cigar to get some more smoke. It's getting a bit firmer now. So just remove the bands. Just to massage the end so that some more smoke can come through. Of course, please do this carefully, otherwise it can cause all sorts of disasters with wrapper leaves being damaged and cracked, or just spoils your whole experience of smoking the cigar. I'll let it go through some more and get back to you shortly with any changes. Hi guys, back again. I've smoked some of it. Had to put it out for some time. There was a power outage. I got some interesting taste. I thought, hang on, now am I picking something which is vegetal or something like that? But then I thought, hang on, let's try and hone that taste down. And what I actually got was something more herbal. And this I alluded to earlier in the review, saying that it has a bit of everything for everyone. And one of those characteristics was something floral, something herbal. I certainly haven't detected any of the floral characteristics, but there is that herbal element going on to a slightly green vegetal state. But in terms of the herbs themselves, it's kind of difficult to identify. I thought just before finishing this, I'd just give a few more vignettes of information about the Romeo and Julieta brand. What they're known for is that, they hold the record for the largest number of cigar bands which were actually made pre the Revolution era. So they keep changing, and what may have been released recently may have not been the case several years ago. Simple as that. They used to do it, produce the bands for individuals or certain eminent people, for example the Churchill in this case, and that kind of formula has stuck. So they like to reinvent themselves and try to keep fresh with what they have. There have been reports of about 20,000 different bands. I'm getting right down to the very end of it, and it's become much stronger and more potent. It's pretty much offering whatever I described in the earlier segments, but at a stronger level. I'm getting more woody and toasted woody kind of character from the cigar. Before I finish, I forgot to show you the end label for the Churchill. So this is pretty much what they've kind of settled on now, and this is the going format for heaven knows how long until they decide to change it again. But it's been pretty much this general kind of design for good 15, 20 odd years. So that's that. And that's all I have to say at the moment. I think this is a very good smoke. If you want a cigar, in summary, which offers you something, some variety, or you want something which you're not familiar in a particular vitella of cigars, this is a good introduction, because it offers you a variety of different taste and character profiles, and you can certainly pick the elements that you like in it. So in that context, I think it's a very interesting smoke. I hope you like the review I've done today. If you do, please subscribe on the YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you have any constructive criticism or any things that you'd like to raise, please feel free to get in touch with the guys. The contact details are below. Please also join us on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you.